Hi friends, Namaskaram everyone. Here I am. Just wanted to share my experience with Shivanga Sadhana. As many of you already know that I am pursuing yogic life and doing yoga practices since 8 to 9 years by now. And this particular sadhana, Shivanga Sadhana, I just wanted to take some time and do it with utmost care because it needs lot of physical strength and maturity as well. So just 2 months back, when I decided that I will just have this practice, then I gone to Google and searched the registration link, and I can find there is Isha Yoga website and registration link, and I just registered. So on November 7th, I got initiated into Shivanga Sadhana practice. It is a 42-day throughout a long practice. That means one has to do every day certain defined yogic practices, and one must follow a strict diet plan as well. So 42 days back, when I got initiated into this particular Shivanga Sadhana practice, so I have followed throughout all 42 days very strictly, and on the last day, on the 42nd day, I went to Isha Yoga Center, Coimbatore, and I have done the trekking to 7th hill on Veliangiri. So all these 42 days, it is a very strict diet plan. Like in the morning, I just need to eat only groundnuts, and afternoon I need to take a small meal, and at night I need to have a small meal again. And I need to do a practice called Shiva Namaskaram. So Shiva Namaskaram is a very intense practice. One must do twice a day, at least once a day, throughout all these 42 days. And one must wear light colored clothes, and one must maintain certain behavior as well. So as many of you know, in Isha Yoga, every single yogic practice is designed, initiated and guided by Sadguru himself. This particular Shivanga Sadhana also very carefully designed, initiated and guided by Sadguru himself. So through online, 42 days back, on November 7th, I got initiated by Sadguru himself through online session, and I have followed all the given guidelines and instructions. And on the last day, 42nd day, we went to Veliangiri hills and done the culmination on the 7th hill yatra. So 7 hill yatra, the idea, all 7 hills represents 7 basic chakras in human body, starting from Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agna and Sahasrara. So the moment we started trekking from the first hill on the 42nd day, we woke up around 2:30 am and done the Guru Puja at Surya Kund around 3:30 am, and 3:50 or 4 am we started the trekking. So it was so dark in the morning, and they were giving a certain kit having a torchlight and stick, and barefoot we need to complete this yatra. So we started around 4 a.m. in the morning with torchlight on in one hand and stick in another hand. That's it. Torchlight and stick, like my brothers. They were guiding me the way. So when I reached seventh hill, it was around 11 a.m. and when I came back, it was 6:30 p.m. So around 14 hours it took me to complete the yatra, and it was like every single step through the dense forest and through the hills, the hard rocks. Hardly there were 10% of the man-made steps, like they were dumping some hard rock stones, and it was throughout these 14 hours I just felt 10% of that having steps. Remaining 90%, we just gone through the yatra through the dense forest area, inside the forest and on the rocks, hills. After we finished first hill yatra, there is Vinayaka temple, and we took blessings of Vinayaka and had some water there filled up in bottles, and we moved forward to the second hill. First hill, it was like a straight steep. It was the toughest hill. And then the second, third and fourth, all these three were, almost steep but little inclined. And the fifth hill was complete flat, and sixth hill was like a valley. It was slope. And the seventh hill, all the six hills are took one kind of mindset and the yatra steps and all, but the seventh hill, it was completely a different. If you club 1 to 6, and that equals to the seventh hill yatra. So in 14 hours, almost 5 hours will take only at the seventh hill, going up and coming back, coming down. And when we reached sixth hill, there was a pond, and the sannyasis, brahmacharis with us, they were saying the pond is like Manasarovar in Kailash. So one must dip in that pond and they need to climb the seventh hill. So when we gone into the pond, it was minus 10 degrees centigrade. The water temperature was minus 10. It was like a deep freezer. And we need to take 3 dips, and we need to do Shivalinga Puja. Inside middle of the pond there is a Shivalingam, and we need to do the puja for Shivalingam inside the pond. Then we need to come back and start trekking the seventh hill. Seventh hill, it is like a straight steep. And when we went to the seventh hill, around 200 people we were into that yatra, and by groups, like 2 people, 5 people, 10 people, like there were certain groups, and all 200 people, we need to go on top of seventh hill and we need to come down. The moment I gone to the seventh hill, on top of seventh hill, I found there is a mountain, a big rock, and inside the rock there is a temple, Shiva temple, and inside I can find 5 lingas. They said 5 lingas represent 5 basic elements of existence: earth, water, fire, air and space. One side of the temple, the entrance of the temple, it was like a very noisy wind breezing everything. It is like the clouds, the wind flowing through you, It was like, you are on top, clouds are down to you. So clouds and the wind is flowing through you. It was such an experience. And the other side of the hill, the back side of the hill, there is a spot called Sadguru spot. It is like a complete silence, pin drop silence. And there we spent some 20 minutes and done some meditations. And I just stayed there around 1 hour on top of 7th hill. So the idea, 7th hill journey, I personally experienced that all my life energy from Mooladhara, it gone up to Sahasrara. So it was very easy to exit from the body through Sahasrara on the 7th hill. So many yogis from past 3000 years, there was a lot of stories, people saying there were so many yogis, saints and sages, they left their body on 7th hill. So when I heard these stories during my yatra, I was just wondering like how that can happen. Then when I gone up there on 7th hill and sat there, in front of the empty space, the silence, pin drop silent area on top of 7th hill, just sat there for 20 minutes and I could feel that at any moment, if I wanted, I can just exit from this Sahasrara, from top of the head. I just go away from this body. So the many yogis, sages, saints, they left their bodies. That means graceful death. They exit from Sahasrara whenever they wanted. So then there on top of 7th hill, I understood a true meaning for Shivanga Sadhana, a limb of Shiva. I experienced that I am part of the cosmic energy, and the moment I just sat down and done the meditation, at any moment I can just leave from the Sahasrara. So the feature, leaving from the Sahasrara chakra, the graceful death, the feature is there in every human being. I understood that this feature is there with us, there with every human being. But consciously, how many of us aware of this feature? So I done something great. I felt myself very proud that I perceived something which I wanted to pursue from so many years. And with this experience, and I just came down and came down to the ashram, and we took the dip in Suryakund pond and went inside the Dhyanalinga and done the meditation there, and we completed the Shivanga Sadhana. So why I am sharing all these things to you guys? Because at some point of time, maybe some of you, maybe you wanted to pursue this kind of taste. So for you, maybe it will helpful, and few glimpses I have captured during my yatra. Please have a look on them. Thank you.
Shiva, 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 Shiva. Ate Ananta Shiva. Yogi Mahadeva, Yogi Mahadeva. Ate Ananta Shiva.
సారం భుజగేంద్రహారం కర్పూరగౌరం కరుణావతారం సంసార సారం భుజగేంద్రహారం సదా వసంతం హృదయారవిందే సదా వసంతం హృదయారవిందే భవం భవానీ సైతం నమా